Oh man, what's up, everybody? So I'm Izzy. Um, I do van life. Me and my new pup, Roscoe here. Um, I don't know. I just started to think, to put some of my ideas down and some things that my experiences down. I don't know really why. I don't think anybody would be paying too much attention to this. You know, I know there's probably a lot of noise in the background, but I'm at this park right now, and I'm right next to the street. But yeah, I'm easy and I do van life shit. I live van life. I've been living van life for about 3, 4 years. Um, there's been a lot of ups and downs and all arounds and stuff, but I mean, for the most part, I've enjoyed it. You know, for the most part. Right now, not so much. A lot of things ain't going my way right now. I don't know why I would start this when things ain't really going my way. I guess maybe for the realities of van life, maybe. I don't know. Um, you know, Currently I'm like not working. I try to find work, but I was in a little bit of an issue with my last job, and I'm kind of dealing with it. And after all of that gets done, I'll probably talk a little bit more about it. But until then, you know, what up, Volvo? How you doing? Hope you doing well, bro. Mm, you know, just kind of right now. I'm just talking about what I'm doing in life right now. That's about it. Nothing too crazy. Better stop it, bro. You better stop it. Got this little fucking pup with me and shit. You know what I mean? You talking about too much except van life really right now. And then, might talk about a little bit. Um, I've been doing this van life for 3, 4 years, like I said. Been ups and downs, you know, and I like the lifestyle. I mean, the way the country is going, I don't know. Maybe I chose the right thing, but I don't feel well. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm being honest, bro, I don't feel well. Um, a lot of fucked up shit been happening. You know what I mean? Bad. Unfortunately, been had a little bit of bad luck. No big deal. What's up, Foxy? How you doing? Thank you for coming in. Been a part of a little bit of bad luck. I mean, I can't really say it's been bad luck. I just I just can't necessarily say it's been good luck either. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I started going back to school. I needed another degree and shit. Um, because what I'm holding on to right now ain't really the best thing. So I kind of stopped in the city, and I've been going to this college to get this fucking degree, and I had to take a semester off. So now this is my off semester, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly I'm gonna do as a van lifer. You know what I mean? I got me and my pup. I got I got a little puppy now um, to travel and shit with me, but I haven't really been traveling. I've been doing this whole school thing, so I'm kind of in a dead position right now. I'm at a legal standstill. So this money that was supposed to come in didn't ain't coming in for a couple more months. So I just have to wait. But that just puts you in a quagmire. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing is, I guess I'm starting this little vlog series um, for van life shit, and then I'll probably talk about regular shit. You know what I mean? Like when I'll talk regular shit, and you know, it's worth talking about. But yeah, I go to school currently, so I guess that's part of the good news, right? Got into school, been doing that shit for the last 2 semesters. You know, there's a lot of things that kind of opened my eyes at the school, and I've been working on a little something. Back up. I've been working on a little bit of something. I got a book that I'm writing. Um, got about 10 chapters in on the book. I'm gonna put a few more things in there and then wrap it all up. And so maybe somebody will want it. I don't really know yet. Um, I haven't really shipped it out. I don't know if I'm gonna do this independently or if I'm going to try to send it out to some people. I don't know if I should just do both. I don't really know what I should do when it comes down to that. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now: school and the writing. Bro, you need to chill out. I'm sorry, I got this little puppy. He's over here doing too damn much right now. Yeah. And this is him. This is Roscoe. You know what I mean? What, you don't want none or what, bro? See, this motherfucker's just a problem. He biting at this motherfucker like he biting on this motherfucker like he wants some to drink. But anyway, so those are some of the good things and bad things is going on right now. Like I said, I'm in a financial quagmire, so I'm trying to currently figure that shit the fuck out and how I'm gonna fucking deal with that. Because I kind of planned all everything out and then worked the way it was supposed to work out. Well, I mean, the semester ended and fucking everything was supposed to be all my legal situation was supposed to be done by then and I was supposed to be actually back on the road by now. And unfortunately I'm not. And I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do next. So I thought, a good thing to do would be to start on a vlog now while I'm doing bad, work through that. So, you know, anything that might come up in my struggles and anybody else that's going to do this would be able to learn a few things from, what I'm going through. Now, a lot of people that do van life, man, these motherfuckers do remote jobs and they actually doing quite well for themselves. Me personally, I'm a struggling fucking student. You know what I mean? So I don't have the nicest, van. I'm about to get a RV trailer to connect to my van because I don't want to do the build for the van right now. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna get an RV trailer. That'll just make it a lot easier for me to, you know, travel. It'll make it a lot easier for me to, go places and I can just check in the RV places and shit at a way cheaper price. Um, and you know, kind of deal with everything along the way. You know what I mean? So uh, I don't really know what the fuck I'm gonna do now, but I'm gonna figure it out. And as I know, I guess my vlog will know. And we shall see what the wind blows my way, and we will go with the wind. I was kind of hoping that I'll be able to get to the beach by now. You know what I mean? I wanted to kind of be closer to the beach by now. I'm in like North Central California, sort of. You know, and so I'm way more inland. I was thinking going down south, down to the beach for a little while. That's where I would be right now if everything had worked out on time. I would be down Southern Cali, probably Huntington Beach area. But for now, I'm kind of stuck here. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna deal with being stuck here for now, and I'm gonna work on it, and I'm gonna try to figure out what exactly I can do. You know what I mean? Um, I might have no other choice but to wait here for another few months, and I'm not quite sure. But as I know, I will surely video it. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna come check out this anyway and really watch these motherfuckers. I guess these motherfuckers is more so for me, for memory, for you know, to see as my dog grows and things of that nature. Um, but if people get interested, then awesome. You know what I mean? That'd be fucking cool. You know what I mean? I'm kind of luckier than most because I got internet in my van. You know, I have pretty much most of the things that most people would want. In order to be able to survive. And unfortunately, I've had to pawn some of that equipment um, as of late. But I'm gonna get this shit back, and I'm gonna fucking, you know, I'm gonna get everything back in order, and I'm gonna get back on the road and start going. But until then, I guess I'm just gonna sit here and try to figure something out and be as patient as possible. You know, with this annoying ass dog. You know, I mean he's annoying, but he's mine, so I can say that you can't. You know, I can say that you can't. It's my dog. I can call him annoying. But anyway, yeah, man. Um, if anybody wants to has questions or fucking anything like that, just put them in the comments, and I mean, I guess I'll fucking try to answer them as I go on. There ain't nobody up in here right now except I think one person, and maybe two, one or two. But if anybody sees this, go ahead and ask any questions. I don't see too many black van lifers on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I don't see that side of YouTube. I haven't been able to find too many black van lifers. I've not like full time van lifers. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen any, you know, especially not, van lifers that are just trying to make it, you know what I mean? Just barely getting by. So we gonna work through this shit together, you know what I mean? And when I finally get this money and get my RV, I can get the fuck back on the road and shit. But I'm gonna show you the hard part of it. Right now is the hard part, man. When you don't have work and your financials are on hold and you have to figure out what the fuck you're gonna do. This is one of them tough times, man. You trying to keep fucking your little fucking traveling partner, my little traveling partner, this guy right here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know you don't like to be on camera. This motherfucker hates being on camera. You're the only black man. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of that, so I thought maybe my black perspective of van life might be interesting to people. You know what I mean? Because I do think it's a little different because I watch these white van lifers, man. Don't get me wrong, like they probably have really good jobs and really cool followers that help them out and shit. And I don't have none of that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like there's gonna be days that's real bad on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? If you keep on playing with me, bro, see, see, look, you don't want this smoke, bro. You don't want this smoke, bro. You don't, you don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke. I told you, this motherfucker's trying to play bite my hand right now. My bad. No, but I don't see too many black van lifers. You know what I mean? And I started this um in a really really good position. Then it got a little hazy there for a minute, and then I started going back to school, started working, and then fucking I had made this master plan of finishing this semester. You know what I mean? Um, and I was gonna stop working. Well, I did stop working. Stop working, finish up this semester, and then probably go to ouch, stop. Then transfer over to a different college to finish up school, and get this degree. You know what I mean? Because I just did like 2, 3 semesters. So, you know, um, and it was hard, and then I started writing this. I wrote this essay, and one of my teachers, which was my film teacher, he saw that I was bored in class, and you know, this guy's really cool. I don't want to put out people's name, but he's my film teacher, and he wanted my perspective. He saw I was bored in the class, essentially, and I didn't really like some of the shit that I was being taught. I was kind of irritated by it because it was the same old black trope bullshit, right? And I'm I'm a foundational black American. I am FBA. I am black American. You know what I mean? Like my history, I don't like it to be muddied. And I know that's not the most popular view right now, but you know, I'm proud of my motherfucking history and my lineage. So I get where a lot of them brothers is coming from, and I think the name is a good name. It's a very distinguishing name, so I go by FBA. It is what it is, and I stand on that. But with that being said, um, when I was in the class, because it was about the history of film and it was about the diversity, and I felt like the first weekend we were doing black history, like black film history, which was really it was very um it was it was something. I don't want it was an experience. So the first week, the very first week we in there, we're in there and we talking about this black history of it, right? And I'm just not liking it. And he can tell. I'm assuming the teacher could tell because I guess he was seeing my face in this, and he asked me on the second day of class. He says, "Are you okay? Do you not like the class?" And I didn't, And I told the man, I said, "Nah, the class is fine. I just, I'm taking the class. Like I need the class. I'm gonna take the class. I'm gonna finish the class. Don't worry about me. I'll be here. I'm fully involved." You know, he goes, "Yeah, but you don't look too happy." I was like, it is what it is. I ain't tripping. I gotta be here. It's the class I gotta take. And he goes, "Can you be honest with me? Like, what do you think about the class?" And I said, "Do you really want the honest truth, or you want the right answer?" You know. And this man said, "No, I want the truth." So I said, the class is fucking problematic. You know, a lot of problematic shit in this motherfucker. And I explained to him the first thing that I kind of had an issue with was a lot of putting. It was like the movies, because we had to watch movies and analyze the movies and shit like that. And I was like, I don't really like a lot of the cosplay in the movies. I'm not really big into all that cosplay and shit. And he said, "What you mean by cosplay?" I was like, "Well, we just seen the Queen and Slim film." And I said, "That is theatrical cosplay, and I'm not really into that shit." And he kind of asked, what did I mean? Um, and I kind of went into it a little bit, and he was really kind of like his. He had never heard some of the shit that I was telling him, and so he says, "Can I make you a deal?" He goes, "You know what? Not a deal. I'm a. Can you talk to me after class?" And I'm like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And I go in, I wait, and he goes, he's telling everybody goodbye. He was like, "Mr. Izzy, can you stay after class?" And I'm like, "All right, cool." So I stay, and he asked me, "What if I made a agreement with you?" And I'm just like, "What's the agreement?" He said, "You had a lot to say that I had never even heard, and it's I just kind of want to know more." Now this dude is like an immigrant guy, or he come from an immigrant family. He's like first gen, I think, you know. And so he was like, he wanted to know my perspective on some of these things. And I was like, because he wanted me to actually be a little bit more involved with the class and talk more within the class. And I was like, no, I don't want to say nothing in the class because, I'm gonna piss some people off about what the fuck I gotta say. And I don't really give two shits about people's feelings. And so it's better just to keep my mouth shut and not get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like somebody can go to the dean, somebody can, whatever. And I said, I'd rather just keep my mouth shut. And so, because I didn't really want to talk in the class, um, and again, I'm only doing that shit so I can get this fucking degree. It's not really that I don't, people know exactly where I stand on shit, like when you get to know me. But I am a very outspoken motherfucker, and I know my mouth get me in trouble. And so, because I know my mouth get me in trouble, I try to be, um, I tried to, speak when I need to, and not, keep my mouth shut when it's not that serious, right? And so, I'm in these white folks fucking school. I need to keep my mouth shut. I know the fucking game. I know how it works. You know what I mean? So, um, he goes, "Okay, can you write it for me?" I said, "Yeah, I'll write it for you." I said, "How blunt do you want me to be?" He's like, "I want you to give it to me raw." And he goes, "And I think you will. And that's why if you do this for me, you don't have to do no assignments. Don't worry about it. I'll just pass you with an A." So I'm just like, "Oh, that's easy. That's easy work. Like not even a problem." So I started writing this big old long essay, and this essay he want me to write about, specific issues and shit from my perspective, and the native, indigenous, Asian, white, LGBT. He wants me to talk about all these different parts of film from my black perspective. And so I says, all right, fine, fuck it. I'll do that. That seems like easy work to me. I'm just trying to get an A in the class. I'm just trying to, whatever's gonna give me the easiest A, that's what I'm gonna do. Right? And so now I just eliminated 8 major tests, a final. I don't have to do none of this shit. All I gotta do is write this paper. That's it. He ain't giving me no date. He said just turn it in before the end of the year. Cool. Cool. Whatever. I didn't even think I was gonna write so much on this issue. Honestly, I'm gonna be 100%. I really didn't think I was gonna write this much on this issue. I ended up writing like 10 chapters already, and I gave him 10 chapters, and I turned it in. Like I gave him 10 chapters of full page fucking shit with everything from the study behind it, the research, how I felt, everything. I mean, I ended up breaking this shit down, and I really broke it down like that. And he was like, I think you need to work on this more, and you need to have this published. And I was thinking, oh, this nigga's just talking shit, but he was dead ass. He came to me and he's like, I want you to work on this, and he's kept in contact with me. Um, and he was dead ass. So I said, fuck it. I'm gonna keep on writing this motherfucker and let's see what the fuck. And the name of the book is actually called Blackface and Blackface, right? I don't know if I'm gonna add on to it or not, but I think Blackface and Blackface is a very strong title for what I'm writing about. Um, and It's about how Black Americans have been treated and how it seems like they're currently being done uh, in the music. I mean, in the movie area, and that's kind of what this is about. So I don't, I'm like I said, I'm about 10 chapters in. I'm working on more, but I don't really know how much more I'm gonna put out because I personally think that if I just do I got one more guaranteed chapter that I want to do, probably, but I want to expand on a few chapters. So that's kind of what I'm working at right now. I want to expand on the LGBT thing. I want to expand on Black women, Black American women in film. I want to expand a little bit more on the significance of Black Americans and Black American roles and things of that nature. And so I feel like if I just expand these chapters just a little bit, um, and make them a little bit more succinct, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to maybe send it out to a few publishers, and maybe I can make you know traveling and writing an actual fucking occupation, you know, and just write about the things that I think are important. I don't know. That's that's an opportunity. That's a chance. And that's kind of what the fuck I'm doing right now. You know. So everything, the money is really, really, really slow. So I don't really got a lot of time for, a lot right now because I'm, kind of breaking my neck looking for work right now because work is out here in California. It's ugly. You know what I mean? It's fucking ugly out here, man. You know what I mean? And you know, if I'm being honest, it don't look like it's getting no better. If I'm being 100, it don't it don't it don't it don't feel like any of this shit is. Yeah, I am definitely protecting it. I mean, I already got. If anybody tries to take my idea, you know, whatever. Um, I got it written. I got this shit written. I got the idea down on video to show that this is my idea. I mean, I don't get me wrong. You know, somebody else can come out and do something, but I don't think they're gonna do the type of in depth work and things that I'm proposing and everything inside the book. I don't think they're gonna be bringing what I brought to this book. It's a very unique perspective. Um, that I don't think some people have thought about. But nonetheless, um, I am definitely protecting the work. I'm writing about it a little bit. So it is what it is. I got another idea that's like in my head that I'm gonna be working on too after this. That I think is really it's an interesting perspective. A little bit more along the lines of history and religion and ideology. Um, which I know is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but that's something that it's a conversation I think that's important. So I got a couple of these ideas in my head, but I got to figure out how to get into a place financially that I'll be safe, and that's kind of the issue right now. And taking care of this dog is not fucking helping, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna give up the dog, so I'm gonna have to just fucking like bare knuckle it for a little while. And so, if I can get a few viewers and make a few extra pennies fucking doing a vlog, I'll do it. You know, I got a lot of things on my plate right now that, I'm kind of coming to that point where it's like you got to start making choices that some hard choices, and this lifestyle ain't for the weak of heart, man. I think, not when you're not financially. I think this life is great if you are financially stable. Van life is great. But when you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck and you're kind of dependent on certain things to go right, this is a very hard life, man. And right now in the economy, it's a very interesting dichotomy, right? It's especially for me because I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't even got no paychecks coming coming in. So, you know, your boy not doing well, you know, and so it's this whole lifestyle is a little bit different, from that perspective, you know. But you get by and you get through it. You know, I'm gonna have to start depending on certain things a little bit more. I'm gonna have to be see because I've been doing a lot of this that I've been doing my van life. I do a covert van life, you know, lifestyle. So my van looked like a work truck. You see what I'm saying? So I can kind of park it everywhere. My windows is blacked out. You know what I mean? So it's like I do this covert lifestyle, so I can just get in there and get the fuck out of there, and I don't like really trip about too much. Um, I don't really get fucked with a lot. But the way things are going, I might be forced to be a very open van lifer because, like I usually cook with electric, and right now, you know, I got solars, but that's not bringing in enough power. There's something wrong with my wiring, so I'm not getting as much power as I can. So I can't cook with electric. So I'm gonna have to start cooking with like the butane stove again and shit like that. And I don't really. That's not. That's I don't really like that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of coming to grips with having to be a little bit more openly van lifer. I don't really like that. I like to be covert. I like to be secret. I like to, um, you know, I don't like it when people know somebody's living in the van. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not even about a pride thing. It's the fact that I can do this shit and nobody knows, and nobody fucking would even give it a second thought. You know what I mean? Um, they want to give the van a second thought. I like that. You know, that ability to kind of just sneak from here to there to here to there, and nobody knows the wiser. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I like to not be bothered. You know what I mean? Like, so to have to start doing the very open van lifing thing where I'm cooking out in the open and shit like that, I'm just not used to that. And I guess technically I am, I'm homeless, I'm houseless, technically, right? But I chose the lifestyle. So it's like maybe I should just embrace that houseless. I chose this ideal in my head because I did choose this. Like I had a bulk of money and I chose to do this shit. I chose to stop paying, rent and these kind of things and these regular bills because I'm a what do they call that? I'm a minimalist. Okay, so it don't take much. Like it don't take much for me to be happy and comfortable. Like I don't need that much. A lot of people kind of need all of the things. Like if I got power, if I got electricity, if I have food, I got a place to sleep, I'm kind of cool. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't have ambition. It's just that I I like to experience things because in my the way I think about things, my reality works. I know the only thing that I have is experience, right? That's the only thing that I'm ever gonna be able to keep with me. I'm not gonna be able to keep no money with me. I'm not gonna be able to take no money with me. I'm not gonna get no fucking credit card with a high limit in heaven. Like that's just not gonna happen, right? When it's done, it's done. And when you get older, and you start getting to more my age, you start realizing that experiences and life and what you did and what you tried to do and what you didn't do are the things that are actually the most important. What did you do with your time? Like, and I hate to say this shit, but you know, we wasn't made as human beings to fucking be working 8, 12 fucking hours a day. It's not what the fuck we was here to do. I mean, we wasn't meant to sit here for fucking 8 to 10 hours a day in one place just to get this fucking paycheck, just to be able to barely survive, right? That's not what the fuck life was supposed to be about. You know what I mean? Like when I think of life, I think of going places that I ain't never seen, doing things I ain't never did, and trying shit out. You know what I mean? Like I, I grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? Like the fuck. Like I want to be able to motherfucking, I like the hood. The hood. I mean, I did grow up in the hood. Like, don't get it twisted, but I was alright. My daddy did well. You know what I mean? When I stayed with my mama, she did alright. You know what I mean? We didn't like, I think we struggle like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like it was just kind of what it was, right? Live in the hood and shit happened. You know what I mean? And so, I never thought there was anything outside of, I'd be lucky to graduate in my head, in my life, and shit like that because, the time period, everybody was gang banging, everybody was, you know, losing their life, everybody was going to prison, you know, that's just kind of life. So, I started doing the same shit. I was in and out of prison, I was in and out of jail. And I kind of got sick of that shit. And now it's just kind of like, man, all this time I could have just been doing whatever the fuck else. You know what I mean? I didn't have to be in prison all this time. Well, I mean, one in three black men always go to fucking prison because these police always got something to fucking charge a black man with. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Like I said, I ain't gonna bitch about it. It's just, it is what it is. You know? And so, I didn't really see myself outside of the hood. I ain't see myself. Stop it, bro. I didn't see myself, um, doing very much. Maybe doing rap one day, and then that, you get old. Maybe being a fighter, maybe doing this, maybe doing that. But I was in and out so often. So, long story short, you know, I started thinking about this shit. I started thinking about life and what I wanted to do. And I think van life is a great way to get around, see the world, but not have a high budget. You know what I mean? And so I thought, van life would be really, really cool, and it has been actually. But I haven't gotten to travel as much as I wanted to because I keep on stopping and doing other things. And right now, I think it was important to stop and start getting this degree. But now I'm ready to. I thought my financials was going to be a little bit more secure by now, and it's only being delayed. Like it's coming. I just have to be patient. You know what I mean? Like it will be here. Everything is. It's just fucking. I gotta wait for this bullshit. I don't know what this bullshit. I ain't never done this shit before. So long story short, I'm just waiting. And once I'm able to, sorry, my dog is trying to push me to go to places that I'm not going. Once I'm able to get this bread and get the RV trailer, I think I'll be in a, I'll be ready to get right back on the road. And the first place I'm doing is, like I said, probably Southern Cal, and then I might go up north, like towards Oregon, Washington, Montana, and then after that I might go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, but right now, you know, I'm like I'm just waiting. I'm just like I said, I just have to be patient. You know what I mean? I just have to figure out how to be patient. And being patient is fucking hard. Especially when to be patient to get your money, it's kinda like, oh man, what the fuck? Like I'm already supposed to have this shit. But, you know, I guess the the earth spirits, which I don't believe in, have said, nah, nigga, you gonna learn some more patience for a little while. And so that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be patient. I ain't got no choice. I know you wanna go to the bathroom, bro. Okay, y'all gotta start walking with the dog. We gotta start walking with the dog. sorry about this. So you got to just be patient and wait for. You got to just do. Be patient and hope for the best. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be patient. And I'm gonna fucking hope for the best. This court. You can't control the court. You can't tell the court how long or how short of a time. You can't tell the court this shit. Like I'm in the middle of a lawsuit. If you can't tell, and I've technically won the lawsuit. I don't. Well, we've come to an agreement. I should say. That's what I should say. We have come to an agreement, and so I just kind of have to wait for this process to go through whatever the fuck it has to go through. You know what I mean? Come on, right here. We're gonna sit right here. So that's what I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting for this process to work itself out because we've already came to our agreements, and I didn't even know this shit could happen in California. But whatever, I'm just gonna sit here and be patient. But once that comes in, I get my trailer, I get my RV trailer. I'm gonna put that shit on the back of the van. I'm gonna put some more fucking solar panels. I'm gonna put some more solar panels on that motherfucker and my van. I'm gonna get the fuck on the road, man. I'm gonna get the fuck up on the road, and hopefully, people fucking be take that trip with me. Y'all can help me figure out where the fuck I'm gonna go next. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe y'all can give me some ideas of good places to visit. You know what I mean? You know, and try to make the remaining summers that I have left in my life, you know, make them memorable. I want to go check out the Grand Canyon. I want to go check out motherfucking Yosemite. You know what I mean? I want to go check out the Salt Flats or in Utah. You know what I mean? I want to go. This is what these white folks be doing. I want to do what the fuck they do. You know what I mean? I want to go camping. You know, I want to see what this white people life is like. That's what the fuck I want to do. So that's what I'm. That's why. So that's what I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna work on doing this. And I be seeing all these little motherfuckers. See, I ain't as cute. I ain't as cute as some of these people on here. These girls and shit. These girls be making bread. All they gotta do is fucking pucker their lips and shit. You know what I mean? They don't gotta worry as much about being pulled over. And, you know, they don't have to worry about the police. I do. I get to worry about all these things. So, you know, y'all get to fucking come along on that trip, you know. And now that I got a traveling companion, because see, that's the even more fucked up part about it. Because I had planned to get a traveling companion about now. I got my traveling companion. You know what I mean? He's American Bully, Staffordshire. So he's American Bully Pit. You know, um, he's good in the van. He don't get car sick. He chills the fuck out for the most part. Like right now, he's got a fucking whole bunch of fucking energy. Like you see what he's doing. You know, and so you know, I'm sorry if y'all didn't see that. I don't know how to. I'll get better at these controls as we go on. Hold on, real quick. Here, grab that motherfucker. See, that's him. That's Roscoe. That's what I named him. His name is Roscoe. What you want something to drink, fool? I'll give you something to drink. Don't trip. And for the most part, man, he's a good little fucking pup, man. He's a good little travel companion. Nope, you can't have that. You know, he's still a puppy. He's learning. You know what I mean? He's learning. He is. Oh, hold on, hold on. He's he's a little rambunctious. Oops, hold on. I'm not gonna lie. He's a little rambunctious. He got a little bit of oops. He's got a little bit of energy to him. You know, but he's got good energy. He seems to be pretty happy. You know what I mean? Want some more? I'm over here trying to give him some water and shit. He's he's a little bougie. Honestly, he's made for like to be a backyard dog or a junkyard dog, but he bougie as shit. You know what I mean? This motherfucker always trying to sleep in my bed. You know what I mean? He only want the drinks that I'm drinking, or like like because I drink a lot of water. You know what I mean? But he only wants it from the canisters and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like this motherfucker bougie as shit. That's a little entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? I ain't never met a dog more bougie than him. Like even my last dog wasn't so bougie. You know what I mean? Hey, hey, hey. Oh, okay, here. You want some more? My bad. No. Sorry, y'all. I'm over here giving me some water and shit. And stop it. You want some more? You want some more or what? Oh, you made my shirt all dirty, bro. See, that's what you gotta deal with these damn dogs, man. They always want to get you. They always want to get you dirty. But it's great to have him around, though. But anyway, now he's a real bougie dog. He likes to do everything that he's not supposed to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. See, this is your problem. You're always trying to eat some shit. Yeah. You're always trying to chew on some shit. This motherfucker is gonna be. This motherfucker is gonna be fun when he get older. Cause I'll be able to work his. Here, you want some? Here. You know. But yeah, I think that's gonna be about it, man. I appreciate y'all coming in, and Vovo. I appreciate you coming in, Foxy, whoever's in here. I mean, like I said, this is just the first day. I didn't really know what the fuck to say. I just want to introduce myself. You know, I'm Izzy. I'm a black van lifer. You know what I mean? Out here trying to make it, and hopefully some people will want to take this ride with me. We can all look at shit that go see shit that we always wanted to see. You know what I mean? But with that being said, it's been fun. Maybe I'll get on here soon, talk about some other things. I might come back and talk about Dolly Parton. Might talk about Israel, but I don't know how the fuck. I don't know how. Right now, what's on my mind is I'm gonna be honest. I got about 5 minutes before I want to call this shit a day on here, but um, I want to talk a little bit about Israel, but I don't know how you two will feel about talking about Israel and the Jewish people and what's going on over there. I kind of want to talk about that. I'm definitely going to be talking about some FBA shit, some black folks shit. Um, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about, how I how I see this country going. Like, where do I see it going in the next little while? Because right now, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just me, but it's starting to look more and more like a police state than ever before. I don't know if y'all seeing what I'm seeing, but it is starting to look like a police state, you know? And I kind of want to talk about that. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because I think it's kind of important that we pay attention. It's like, you know, I love history and I'm really, really big into history. And right now, it seems like it's just very similar to other collapsings or taking over of, and, you know, I'm not a Democrat, nor am I a Republican. There'll be some shit that I like that Donald Trump do. Other things, he's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? I can't really, you know, there's a lot of shit Dems do right now that I'm just not feeling at all. Republicans are exactly who the fuck we thought they was, so I know what to expect from them. You know, I know what to expect from them. And this is exactly what's going on. We got a whole bunch of black bodies becoming strange fruit. If you notice him, like if you know what I'm talking, you know what I'm talking, right? We talk, a lot of young black men and women coming up, winding up as tree ornaments and shit. And it's starting to look like things that we've seen before. And if some of the things that are being said are true, we're looking at lynches right now that are I guess it's in the last fucking since the start of the year. Since the start of the year, if these young people that's coming up and being strung up and shit, if these individuals are being lynched, we're talking about the right around the same to a little bit higher rate of black folks being lynched before. You know, you need to chill out, bro. Sorry. Yeah, chill out. You don't want this smoke, dude. You don't want this smoke, bro. Like you really don't want this smoke. Stop trying to get it with me. No. Anyway, um, we got we got fucking our government trying to become more strict on us when it comes to surveillance. We got to like I I lightweight feel like the First Amendment ain't even real no more. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to say anything. Everybody gets offended by everything. Fucking people want to cancel everybody. People don't want to fucking say the true facts because if you say something that's true, you know, if you say something that's true, stop. If you say something that's true, then you'll be called this or that. You know, fucking people tattling on everybody. Fucking, we're turning into a fascist state, a fascist police state, and like before we know it, we gonna be like, I don't know. Have you ever seen? If you've ever seen V for Vendetta, we're getting close to that kind of shit where motherfuckers is just out here just doing whatever the fuck they want. Like, like a lot of people be like, oh, the Yahtzees. Everybody be fucking, the Yahtzees, you know what I mean, right? And the fact of the matter is, we're we're right now we're acting worse than the Nazis. We're really fucking acting worse than them. Like, to everyone. Like, bro, I think it's so important that people pay attention because we're turning into police state, but at the same time, like, we're pissing a lot of people off. Well, the country is. So we got to start thinking about war and, a whole bunch of fucking shit. And if you don't think that, like, I think we're like headed, I think we're headed straight to a World War III right now. Honestly, it's like, I think people are really going out of their way to get another fucking war going. Like, you know what I mean? Netanyahu and Trump. I really think, I don't know why, but I also see the collapse of a dollar coming. The dollar. I think there's a collapse coming of our dollars. You know what I mean? Our economy. And that's one of the most scariest part because what happens after the collapse of our economy, right? Like, our money doesn't isn't worth anything. You know what I mean? Like, the dollar ain't worth shit. And we're already not backed by a whole bunch of motherfuckers. We're not backed by gold. We're not backed by silver. We're not backed by anything. We're backed by oil, which, now you got Iran that's like, okay, then, motherfucker, we're going to change how you can pay for the fucking your oil, which was the whole reason why our dollar was doing strong. A lot of people ain't really paying attention to that shit. And that's important. Like, Venezuela, like, if that shit was to happen over here, I would not be one bit surprised. So for me, that's why I think I want to talk about, a little bit that kind of shit because, and I might be being, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but that plus the natural disasters that's going on, you have um, earthquakes that are getting bigger and bigger. There's supposed to be a earthquake in California. This guy predicted it. He predicted the Columbia earthquake that just recently happened not too long ago, right? And before that, he predicted the Japan one. He's saying that California is due for a big one, right? We got volcanoes that are erupting. You know what I mean? We got um, we got we got volcanoes erupting. We got motherfucking asteroids coming near the planet. We got a whole bunch of fucking crazy shit going on, right? And I think the United States is actually due for something, like a big event, depression type shit. You know what I mean? Like the Great Depression or a war or a natural disaster. We're about is right around that time, you know. And if we understand the cyclical nature of 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 all of these things, they all, they're all things that repeat consistently at, usually regular intervals. So, like, living van life is actually a precaution to learn how to be self-sufficient, right? To be able to have everything I need in order to survive if, like, zombie apocalypse fucking came. If it's like if there was like a plague that, went viral and went rampant, or a zombie apocalypse, or fucking, a major earthquake that led to, I don't know, a super volcano fucking exploding. You know what I mean? Um, if there was some sort of nuclear winter, or fucking, bombs, or fucking, because I don't know if y'all seen it, but Russia just said they were considering dropping a nuke on us recently. You see what I'm saying? And this is shit we don't know. They just keep us motherfucking in the dark and keep us compliant, so we have no idea. You know what I mean? And the question is would the government tell us that a nuclear bomb was gonna fucking hit us? Would they? Or would they just let it happen and then fucking react? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, 9/11. I don't necessarily believe like we did it, like a lot of these conspiracy theorists. I think the people, either it was Afghan people, or it was Israeli people. Okay, I sincerely believe it was one of those two people. But right, I do think that the fucking government knew about it and let it happen in order to, get Americans to be okay with things like the Patriot Act. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that they did it, but I do think that maybe they might have known that it was being planned. I think there's a lot of evidence that shows that. Now, again, that might be a little conspiracy theory for people, right? It's like I don't, I personally think that I think that it was either Israeli Mossad, who did it, but they were shown to be, all this other group in order for them to be able to think, or it was Israeli Mossad that fucking trained those kids, those people to do it, and then they did it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think Israel got something to do with it, but that's just me. That's just me. And I think the government knew about it, because one of them motherfuckers, that the dude that owned the Twin Towers, this motherfucker magically got, insurance. He had his insurance upped, and he paid the extra little bit just magically at the same time, just in case. It was a hell of a coincidence, I must say. And I think the government knew because of that. And I think they just let all the informed parties know that when it happens, it's going to happen, and blase, blase, right? And so if America would do that shit, then I think they would do it again. And I think they would let a bomb hit us again. And the reason why is because if you can drop let's say one of these countries like America want to go to war and they want this shit, right? Um, the fact of the matter is this: the best way to get support for a war is if it comes to who you are, right? And I think we've gone through all so many different places. I think that it's right about that time where America might get, it might be America's turn, right? And so if you let something like that happen, right? What are we all gonna act like? Well, we're all gonna act like just like we felt at 9/11. We're all gonna be like, we're gonna feel like we was a little bit attacked and shit. You see what I'm saying? And so, in order to garner like the ability to kind of do whatever the fuck they want, they, there might be a need to allow shit to just happen. Same with a natural disaster. Same with, any of these things. I think that it might just be easier just to let the shit happen and not tell nobody about it and act like you didn't know, you know? And so, stop. And so, it's like right now, it's like I kind of feel like the safest fucking thing to do that I could do is learn van life and be a part of this van life shit a little bit. Understand solar power and understand batteries and understand all of these different things just in case anything were to happen. If anything, like even just a natural disaster, and let's say you're out of fucking food and you can't get a hold of food or nothing for the next 60 fucking days, how long will you be able to motherfucking survive, right? And I was talking about this shit a long time ago. I was telling people, like, 6 months to a year ago, I was telling people, like, look, dude, if you don't know self sufficiency, I've been preaching this shit. This is me preaching to the choir for the last year. Nobody want to hear me out. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. If I go off, if I just talk about this shit and something was to happen, I'll just be like, you know what? I told you so. Told you should have been playing. You know what I mean? Told you should have been playing for this shit because I don't think none of us think about this shit. What if something big was to happen, and supply lines and everything, stores got shut down, supply lines got stopped. How long could you survive? Like legitimately, what do you know that would help you survive? You know what I mean? Is it is it would you know how to start a fire? Would you know how to make a tent? Would you know how to make shelter? Would you know how to do these things, or you know turn other things into those things? you know and I think for the most of us the answer would be no. Sorry about that. I apologize. That's like I said, I'm right off the street at this point. And so my thing is how how would you how would you deal with something like that? You know what I mean? How would you deal with how would you deal with some major event happening? And again, I might be, a conspiracy theorist and I might be overreacting, but I think that it's a legitimate question, especially in the state of the world right now. And so you'll be hearing me talk about a lot of those type of things. And I hope that people think about it and really don't fucking blow it off because, you know, the minute fucking we blow this shit off is the minute you're not prepared, and you can't be you can't afford to not be prepared, you know? Like if anybody knows anything, dude, like if something like Yosemite was to explode, there would everybody would be affected from there to the East Coast because of how the winds would be. Everything would be affected from there to the East Coast. I don't think people would understand that shit. And it would affect, I'm sorry, it would affect us too on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Like these kind of things are real. And we need to fucking start acting like we respect it a little bit more. Because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. So, you know, go out there, man, figure shit out, pay attention to the world, man. I think We need to watch out. I think honestly, I think our country is being overran. I think right now a we're seeing. I honestly believe this shit. I think we're seeing the turnover of our country right now. I think that's really a real possibility too. That that we're really seeing our country being given to a whole different country. I really honestly believe that shit. Or something weird is going on at the very fucking least, dude. You know what I mean? Like I've been learning about this APAC shit, and these motherfuckers is insidious. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. These white boys and these white supremacists ain't got too much motherfucking sense to them, but when it comes to these when it comes to information about some of these other groups, man, they got a lot of information that's verifiable. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to take everything that these motherfuckers say serious, but you should always listen to people, even if you completely 100% disagree with them. Like 100, you can 150% disagree with them, but you should always be willing to listen to what they're saying. You might no, come on, man. You got my shirt. You're dirtying up my shirt, bro. Sit down. I I I think it's kind of important that we do that. We need to listen to everybody and what they fucking arguments. Look at their proof and look at their evidence. Like they ain't got shit when it comes to black folks. They just don't like us. But with these Jewish folks, they might be on to something, bro. They might. They might. I don't know. I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh no, they're anti-Semitic, bro. That shit is no good. It's no bueno." Maybe, but boy, them motherfuckers sure do have proof. They sure do have evidence. It's not like they just saying shit to say shit. You know, they don't. When it comes to them people, bro, there might be. Look, you might have to pay attention. So I listen to everybody. I don't care if I disagree with you 150%. I don't care if I agree with you on. I listen to everybody. I listen to all their arguments because to be open minded and to have all the information possible um, is going to be the person that is able to adjust to a situation the best and the fastest. So you know, we'll see. We will see. But I guess for now, that's going to be about it. I appreciate everybody coming. Hopefully, you guys come in. You want to hear my take on some things. Interested in my hard headed ass dog, fucking Roscoe. Hope you guys fucking want to come in and see how Roscoe doing. Um, I will be coming back on here a little bit more because I've been kind of on TikTok, but I haven't been on TikTok. But I'll probably be on here more often now, just to kind of do this vlog style show, talk about shit. Maybe if enough people start coming, maybe I'll start talking about having debates and having people come up. But for now, I'll just do this vlog style type thing and see if people are interested in a black man, his thoughts, his ideals, his ideology, and his van life experience. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody will be interested and want to hear that. All right. With that being said, man, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope uh, you guys are feeling like you guys have progressed as where you want to go to every single day. Um, if anybody ever want to donate or anything, you definitely can. Right now, I don't know if any of the information is up on my shit. If it's not, then that's my bad. But you know, I'll put it up. You know what I mean? I'll, my bad. Hold on. I'll put up the information. If it's not up there, it's not up there. But if people want to help out the doggy, maybe I'll make a wish list on fucking Amazon or something. Maybe I'll fucking do all the things that they tell me to do, and maybe some people will fucking like to take this ride with me. But until then, man, I want to say thank you for coming in. Have a great day. Stay real, stay black, stay doing your thing, stay honest with yourself, and you know, always know, man, like just be patient. Shit might not be going right, but it's not going right for a lot of motherfuckers, right? But be patient, keep your head up, and you know, be like Rocky. It ain't about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you can get up. Right? so stay real, stay black, stay doing your thing. Stay unapologetically black too, please, people. Jesus Christ. Let's, let's promote being unapologetically black. Peace.